I have on the bench here an R-Series Droid from Droid Depot at Galaxy's Edge. And if I take this little piece off of its leg, it exposes this 3-pin header here. And this is where you would plug accessories into your droid so that when you press the accessory button on your droid, it'll make a noise associated with the accessory you've plugged into it. Right now it does nothing because there's no accessory plugged into it. But it is awake, as you can hear. So I want to talk about making your own accessory. And we're going to start by examining this port here. 3 pins from left to right. We have the detect pin, the ground pin, and the LED pin, or the power pin. Connecting some level of resistance between the detect pin and the ground pin is what is used to identify what accessory is plugged in. There are only 2 accessories that plug in here, blasters and thrusters. Those are the only 2 accessories that this thing will recognize. And from a bit of research, we know that if we have a 4.7K resistor between detect and ground, it will think the thruster accessory is attached, and if it's a 10 kilo ohm resistor, it will think it's a blaster accessory. So let's do a little experiment here. I have an LED here. The long lead is positive, the short lead is negative. So the long lead I would put into the positive side or the right side, and the negative in the middle. And we're going to see that's going to do absolutely nothing here because there's no resistor going between detect and ground. So let's try doing that. This is a 2.2 kilo ohm resistor. It's not 4. I can't find my 4s right now, but I think this should do it. This should be fine. Let's find out if I can just jam this down in there. And now, in theory, when I press the accessory button, we'll see something happen. Nothing. Okay, so a resistor value below 4.7 doesn't seem to work. Huh. I have this resistor here. That's green, brown, red. That's 5, 1, 2. So that's 5, 1 followed by 2 zeros, or 5100, or 5.1 kilo ohm resistor. Let's put that in between detect and ground. Let's see if that gets it working. No, why not? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, for Pete's sake. I know what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. The problem is the droid. This is R2H15. This is a holiday droid that came out as a Droid Factory, a little one back in 2015, I think. And then this is the Droid Depot version that came out in 2025. And we can see it has the holiday chip that comes with it. You know what's not on that holiday chip? Accessory noises. So now that I have removed that personality chip, we're just going to have the stock R-Series personality, which does include blasters. So if we bring that 2.2K resistor back and plug it in, and that LED, and we bring in the remote and we press the accessory button. Hey, there we go. So we have made an accessory. With a resistor and an LED, you can make your own accessory. Now, obviously, it sounds like a thruster, but you can go and create your own personality chip or modify one so different accessory noises are there. So your custom accessory will have a different noise than blasters and thrusters. Case in point, here is a personality chip that I have recently put together. This personality chip, which I'm sorry to say I can't share because part of its contents is the contents of this chip. But I have put back into it accessory noises, but not the normal accessories. I've added one accessory bank has sounds of sleigh bells. The other accessory bank has some music on it. So let's see. Sorry I had to cut that off. That music, though, is on the holiday personality chip that comes with this droid. It has 2 songs. Each song is broken down into thirds and then spread out over all the different banks, audio banks of the personality chip. I extracted all the different sections of each song and put them all together so you can hear the whole song all the way through as one of the accessories. The second bank, which we should now activate by putting a 10K resistor in, has the sleigh bell sound, so we can look at that and wow! Okay, so we get the idea. That's all it takes, a resistor and an LED, and you two can make an accessory. And that means that, I mean, the sky's the limit. You can grab a piece of proto board and wire something up and make your own accessory for your droid, which is what this video is going to be about. It is November 1st, and that means it's the day after Halloween. And that means the stores are selling Halloween decorations at half off, or even more. And that is where I found this. This is a necklace of flashing lights. Now, I showed you how you can make one with a single LED and a resistor. The same principle should apply here. The lighting modes is what worries me. All right, and they're blinking. All right. So you keep pressing the button, it goes through different states of blinking. Now, curious to me is that there were 3 wires here, and I thought to myself for a minute that the black wire would be ground, but the closer I look now, I realize the black wire is not a wire at all. That's just a piece of string to either add color or perhaps to help strengthen the necklace so that the wires aren't taking the strain. So we only have 2 wires, which should be just positive and negative. So you might start to see where I'm going here with this. But before we get there, I need to take this thing out, this unit that does all the lighting. I'm going to assume, and I think it's correct, we'll find out, that the logic for making the LEDs blink is in here. There are LEDs that you can buy, which have a chip built into the LED itself that controls the LED and makes it blink in different patterns. And those LEDs, sometimes you can quickly cycle power to them, and that'll change the blinking pattern. If those LEDs are what's in use here, we might be stuck, but I don't think so because, as I look at all these LEDs here, they are blinking perfectly together. And if it was an individual chip in each LED, the pattern would very quickly go out of sync. So I think we're good. Let's get this open. And that is R2H15 going to sleep. How do they expect you to extract that battery when it's being held in place like that? Oh well. Next thing, let's see if we can crack this. Trying to be careful here. Okay, there we go. Great. So we have, yep, That little black blob of epoxy right there tells me that there is a chip, and that chip is what's controlling the LEDs. And then we just have the two leads over here, power and ground, and we can figure out which is which pretty easily. What I am going to do, grab my multimeter here, and my multimeter is in diode mode, and if I put my leads across the two wires here, I don't see anything lighting up. So what if I flip it around? Yes, there we go. What we have learned now, the purple wire is positive. Okay, purple wire is positive. That's good to know. Okay, I have some headers here. That should fit that port just fine. And so my plan is to attach the wires and a resistor to the headers, and then you can just plug this in and away you go. There we go, strip the wire a little bit, and I'll do that for the other one. Now I want to tin those leads so that way the strands stay where they are. Good. I need to bring in my vise. Trim that lead back substantially. I'll tin the resistor as well. The resistor, by the way, is a 470 ohm resistor. This is to limit current to the LEDs. I'm going to reuse the 5.1K resistor. This is going to be my detection resistor. Ow, that's warm. That's warm. I'm just gonna twist these two together. We now have our 3 pins for our accessory. And we can test it real quick, I guess. Okay, we have power. Oops. We have power. Ground. And detect. Get in there. There. And so now, if I drape these across so you can see them, we have to power off and on. And now if I hit my accessory switch, I got it backwards, didn't I? Purple is positive. Why didn't you warn me? So who was screaming at the screen that I had done it wrong? Well, scream louder next time. Purple is positive. P for positive. Remember this mnemonic so that you don't make a fool of yourself again, please. So this is a 5.1K resistor. This is our detect resistor. One is going into the detect pin. The other leg is going into the ground pin. The LEDs need to go to the ground pin as well. So that is why I am soldering the wire to one end of this resistor. So that end of the resistor will go into the ground pin. Okay. So we have power with a current. I did it again. I did it again. Oh, why? Why? Yeah, I know I said scream louder, but it's like you gotta really scream. I mean, you gotta scream so loud that, you know, it goes across the world and back in time. Okay, this is the current limiting resistor that we're soldering now. This goes on the power pin. And do you remember what color wire is power? Do we remember? Yes, that's right. It is orange. I heard you that time. I'm glad I pulled out extra resistors for this. Let's review. Purple is positive. Ground detection. Okay. Ready, steady, go. They lit up. I saw them light up. Here we go. What's going on? You're not detecting. Yes! Alright, so all we need to do now is solder these to a set of headers, and we are good. The thought I just had is that if I do it like this, just directly to the headers, you're not going to know which way is up or down the correct orientation to plug it in. That would be a problem. So after a bit of time, I have come up with this. This is a piece of perf board to which I have soldered a switch. The switch is switching these resistors here, so I can have this appear as either a blaster or thruster accessory. And we have my current limiting resistor there that then goes off to the strand of LEDs. And because of how I have placed the header here, it will only fit in this orientation. It will not fit in this orientation. So now we have an accessory that I can plug in, and there's no risk of it being plugged in upside down unless you're really trying hard. So let's put this to the test, shall we? Now, if you were to try and plug it in upside down, you would see it extends up beyond the height of the leg. It doesn't quite fit the right way. I guess you could get away with it, so everything I've just said can be ignored. But I think it becomes more obvious that it should be plugged in this way, and maybe as a final step I'll put some arrow on here, or a message or something, some kind of indicator that it should be plugged in with this facing up. In any case, we have it plugged in. We have our LEDs here that are now in shot. So here we go. And you can see it's still playing the Christmas music, but if I switch it over now to the other accessory resistor, nothing happens. There we go. And now it's sleigh bells. I think what happened is the switch was sort of stuck in the middle and wasn't making contact. Or it just wanted to make a complete fool out of me. In any case, the point is the accessory is now working, and you could probably make this better, maybe dress this up a little bit better, but for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to show how it was possible to create an accessory for your droid with just one resistor and an LED. So there is the discount holiday lights modded into a droid accessory. Now, this probably works better with the Halloween themed accessories. There's panels for the droid that are in purple with some cobwebs, and I think it has a spooky-ish personality chip. That was a kit you could buy a few months ago. This, with these colors, would fit that better. And, you know, for a Christmas themed one, you know, obviously you want different colored lights, but it goes to show you you can create your own accessory with not a lot of work here. It's just a couple of resistors. I've made this a little bit more fancy by adding a switch and a third resistor, but as I showed at the start of this video, you don't need to have something as fancy as this. You can just do a resistor and an LED and it'll work fine. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you try to make one yourself, and if you do, please share how it goes. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask them in the comments. Good luck. Have fun.